So I guess my next question then off of that is, do you feel any of the Paragon ships are easier or harder to obtain? And then is that a problem? Should they all be equal, or does it matter if some are easier than others?
I've heard some things on that note. I've heard Paragon Archer can be hard to earn, but I've also heard
I don't know any Paragon Archers.
Yeah. But I've also heard it can be easy to earn because all you have to do is be known for shooting really well. Like, and it's kind of a thing where, like, we want to give, Hogman, Dyer Barker, a Paragon Archer because plays Archer. Because he's known for shooting really, really well and really, really fast. So I think, that's my experience. But then again, getting to that skill isn't very easy, I feel that if you're an archer who really knows their class and really knows their specialty arrows and uses their specialty arrows well, you are going to still have a hard time getting Paragon Archer over someone who doesn't play Archer but has a high rate of fire and is really accurate and is known for being those things, So that's kind of the weird thing about Archer. And in the meantime, Hogman finds it hard to get his Paragon Druid, even though that's what he plays. And because
he doesn't play a normal Druid. It's hard. I feel in that in particular, it is when Druid is, in my opinion, head and shoulders the best class in the game. And to get someone who isn't playing the meta in that class for him, it's going to be very hard because he's the only bow druid that I know of. So I feel like it's hard for him.
And that's like sad to me. Like that kind of segues into the second part of your question, like, should it be hard or harder? And it's like, in my opinion, take someone who does pretty well as a druid with like the cookie cutter build that everyone uses. Like I could build the cookie cutter build and I could do well with it. But then you have Hawkman who took something that nobody, else is doing and ran with it. That's his style of druid. That's his druid. And he mastered it. That's more Paragon worthy in my eyes.
I agree.
Because he is, he's doing something different than everybody else is. He took his own thing and mastered it and is kicking ass with it. That is more Paragon worthy.
And depending on the Paragon too, there's some on the Druid. There's some Druids when I see on the other team, it's like, okay, I know they're going to be candy. That's annoying, but okay, I know they're going to golem him and going to go. Okay, I actually have to worry about that one. Man, when Hogman's on the other team, I'm like, crap. All right, how do I plan for this? And for me, that's what I want to see out of my Paragons is when they are on the other team, I have to specifically plan around them, and he does that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he's the only one who I will look like if I'm playing wizard. Usually, I'm playing like a suicidal wizard sort of a thing. I don't take any enchantments. I like to teleport in the midst of the enemy team and all that stuff, and basically be able and willing to die, but take people out with me. Because I'm a master of offense. I'm willing to bet that I can take 5 people out with me, and then and 5 good players out with me if I die. Not when Hogman's on the field, because he'll just shoot me with an arrow before I even start to ramp up with that. So Hogman is one of the only people who I will take some sort of pro proj or magic armor for, and then play a more conservative wizard. So he kind of changes the game doing that.
So what's your opinion on, I have heard, and maybe you can agree or disagree on this, that the melee Paragons are easier to obtain just because if you get a warlord who's playing monk, they're obviously going to shine at being a monk. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're good at monk. They're just good at fighting. So what's your take on that?
I think there's some merit in that, especially if you're like a Paragon level. Like Raven is going to find it to be a lot easier to earn a Paragon in the fighting classes than someone who it's kind of a very similar thing to Archer. Like I said, like you could master the abilities, know when to use pinning arrow, know when to use poison arrow, know when, have some really good moments on using phase arrow. But if you don't have like the rate of fire and the accuracy of Hogman, you're going to have a hard time for someone who does. And that, like I said, there's some merit in that. I'd be hesitant to give someone a Paragon Warrior just for fighting well if they don't even own armor, because that's kind of the thing. Like,
that's the part of it.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. It would be like if someone played Archer. Like, imagine if a stick jock who played Archer and just ran around killing people with a sword. Would you give them Paragon Archer?
No, but I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see it. Yeah. But Monk is kind of different because all you have to know is that you're immune to the spells and everything like that. Monk is one of the best. If you're really super athletic and a decent fighter,
Mm-hmm.
you don't actually have to be that decent of a fighter. You can just be a super athletic guy like Zave. And don't get me wrong, Zave's a really good fighter, but he is just athletic as hell.
He'll run for days.
He'll run for days. And he fighting against him on a Phoenix League team, it was just hell because he would just, he would be across the field and then you'd look away and he'd score, because he just grabbed that ball and, because he was just quick as hell. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. So athleticism helps, knowing how to fight when playing a fighting class helps. So there might be some merit in that. But you could also go the other way, that if you don't know how to fight, it's that much harder to be, I've heard people say that caster classes are the easiest to Paragon because of that. You don't have to be good at fighting, and being good at fighting is a huge,
I've seen in the casters too, though, there is a higher likelihood that like your garb will push you up and over, your role play will push you up and over. Like, I don't see that as, I guess, in everything other than assassin. I have seen some assassins who they wear all black and kill someone off the field. Let's give them. But I feel like on the casters, if you look like a wizard, that's going to do more for you than if you
absolutely
look like a barbarian.
I always say that it's the three S's when it comes to what determines a Paragon. In order of importance, number one is just skill. Like, how good are you at the class? It's the most important, in my opinion, sort of. The second one is equally important, if not more. But in that schooling, how do you teach other people? And the only reason I put that as number two and not number one is if don't have the skill, how are you going to teach? You need number one to get to number two, even though I would look at how much, once they have number one, it's a kind of a combination of factors in the Paragon hood, but they need one, but I would really look at two. Number three is style. And that's what you just said. How do you portray the class? How do you role play the class? That sort of a thing.